Welcome to another episode of Coffee's Conversations to Keepin It Real. I'm one of your hosts, Philip Marcel, and with me I have
your other host, Trina George.
And today we're going to be getting into our businesses because we really haven't dug deeper into that. We've kind of been hosting the podcast, but we're going to be talking about, because we are entrepreneurs, is what we do. We're doing this podcast to scratch an itch, basically. So we want to tell you a little bit about what we do, and you know, we want to keep it real in our businesses. So
absolutely. I mean, we've talked to so many about what they do.
Right.
It's just the nature of it.
Yeah,
we focus on everybody else.
That's true.
We focus on ourselves last.
That's right, which is good, which is cool. So, but I think it'll kind of bring it all together for whoever is going to be watching out there. Even if nobody watches till my grandkids, great grandkids.
Yeah, right.
But it's all good. So this is what great granddaddy has been working on. Photography and cinematography, production stuff. So let's start with your business first, Trina.
All right, shoot.
Yes. Name of your business is Sensible Senior Services.
Yeah, my business is Sensible Senior Services.
You spell it differently, yes.
CENTSIBLE.
Mm-hmm.
Spell it a little different because before I started my business, I actually was a banker for 13 years. You know, I was a personal banker, worked in loans a little bit, worked as a teller a little bit. So
if it don't make dollars, don't make sense.
Absolutely. So I wanted to spell it just a little different. That's the reason I spell it the way I do. But,
right.
You know, I'm pretty unique. So I wanted my name of my business to be unique as well.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. And it works. How does that tie into your business?
So a lot of people are like, yeah, a lot of people are like, well, they just kind of think that it's spelled the way it is because it's affordable. Yes, it is affordable, but don't spell it like that because of that. So once I tell them the story on why I spell it the way I do, then they're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
Oh, gosh. Oh, really? They actually do that?
Yeah.
That's funny. Funny. That's cool. And so how long have you been in business?
So we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. Last month. And so 4 years, started off with literally not one client, and now we're close to 50. And started off by myself, and now I have 4 girls working for me. That's 4 cool. Ladies.
But you had bigger staff than that over the years, right?
I have. You know, with working with the elderly, with that comes people that pass away, right, or that need more care, or maybe that don't need it anymore because maybe they move into assisted living. So, you know, it kind of goes up and down.
Oh, so so your clientele transitions in many different ways, not like.
Yeah, for sure. So some of our elderly clients, you know, sometimes they may develop dementia or Alzheimer's where they need to go into 24-hour care, like memory care unit, right, or just maybe they've just kind of grown to the past of what help we can provide, and they need that extra care that we're just not able to give them. Right. So they'll move into like an assisted living facility. And, you know, at one point I did have 9 on my team because we had several clients that were 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. With that comes a lot of coverage. Right. So it just kind of, you know, fluctuates there.
I feel you. Yeah. And are you trying to stay at 4, or are you trying to grow?
No. So I don't have like a max goal of like how many I want to be on my team.
Right.
I just really want to help as many individuals as I can stay at home. So if that means my team needs to grow, so be it. I just want to help seniors stay at home as long as they possibly can, if that's where they want to be. Maybe that's not where they want to be. Maybe they want to live with their kids, and sometimes they do live with their kids and we still help them. But that's what I want to do because that's what I started off not started off the business with, but it's the reason I started the business is by helping my grandmother.
Yeah, let's get into that. Like, why you, like, in helping your grandmother, like, what happened with that situation with your grandma and, like...
So, my grandfather passed away pretty suddenly. He had went into the hospital with a few different things going on. We were told on a Tuesday he had cancer. Wednesday he moved to hospice. Friday he passed away. So, it was just really, really sudden. We're a very close family. Very close family. So, I moved in with my grandmother to help her out. And for... about a year and a half before she passed away, it was helping her learn how to write checks that she didn't know how to do. My grandfather had done everything for her. So I helped her. I taught her how to write checks, how to balance a checkbook, things that I were good at. I mean, I worked at the bank. I help people with that all the time. And she never drove. So, me, my mom, and my uncle would all kind of take turns, taking her to the doctor, take her grocery shopping or out and about, maybe to, wherever. And that's kind of where this idea to give a concierge service to individuals basically by just giving them an extra set of hands to stay home, that's where it came from. I'm like, if I can make her feel this good, like, how can I make other people feel good?
True.
How can I help them stay at home? Because that's where my grandmother wanted to be. She wanted to be at home. She did not in her house. Right. She did not want to be. She loved being with my mom. She loved being with my uncle, but she really wanted to be at home. So I was able to help provide that.
I can imagine because their grandparents oftentimes will host like family functions over the holidays and stuff like that, so they get attached and it's their home. It's like
it is their home,
and like the grandkids spend a lot of time there. Then if they kept it for a couple of generations, like your parents, and now you come in, so I mean that's what they know. I
was their first grandchild, and I spent many a days there, many a nights. When my parents worked, they had me basically like a lot, and then when my son was born, I gave them their first great-grandson, so he spent a lot of time there. So I mean, helping her stay at home is really what I wanted.
That's cool.
That's what I wanted to do, and I was able to do that for her, and that's just something nobody can ever take away from me. That was just a priceless. That was I mean, that year and a half was like the best year. It was amazing.
What happened after that? She passed on?
She passed on. She got pancreatic cancer and passed, and I continued to work. That was in 2008 when she passed. I continued to work in the banking field.
Were you working in the banking while helping your
While
grandma?
helping my grandmother. Okay. So all the way to 2015 is when I actually started my business. So think about it. That's 8 more years, 7 more years.
Working in banking, like in the banking.
Working in banking. Wow. I moved to Gainesville from Dunellen in 2012, and I just kept getting this. Like, it was like, how like you get something tapping on your shoulder, like, hey, that idea is not going to go away. Like, you've got to do something with it. Like, it was like bugging me,
Oh,
and so I was like, all right. So my husband, Brendan, and I, we sat down, we talked about it, we prayed about it, and we decided to start the business. And 2014, I, went and did everything I needed to do to get set up, got my there's no licensing, but got my insurance, got bonded, did all that stuff. Everything was completely effortless. I mean, literally just completely effortless. And that's when I knew, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So I am at work. I hand my 2 weeks into my boss, and if anybody knows anything about like sales or banking or whatever, they know that whenever you hand in your notice, they basically just ask you to leave because they don't want to take they don't want you to take any clients with you. And so
did you have non-compete with them or had to sign stuff?
I'm sure at some point there was something along the way, but I don't recall it like right offhand. But I had my trunk cleaned out. I had my back seat cleaned out. I was prepared, you know, to
take everything with you once you took that in?
To take my stuff and go. And actually, when I handed in my notice, my boss at the time, Misty, she hands the note back to me. Yeah. The letter, my resignation letter, and she says, yeah, I'm not taking this. And I'm
really?
Like, oh, no, you are. I've done paid for everything. So she hands it back to me, and I hand it back to her, and she asked me to stay through the end of the month, which was a big deal because, that's just not, heard of in every job in that field.
True. Yeah.
And so I stayed to the end of the month. My very last day at the bank, it was a Friday. It was the last business day in January. Right. And I woke up and I kind of had my oh crap moment. Yeah. The moment where like, what are you doing? Yeah. And so I got in the shower that morning and I prayed. Yeah. I prayed. I'm like, I need a sign. Lord, show me a sign.
Now, were you working? Did you have any clients before that? Or you just kind of holding off?
No,
because you were still
I had
working
no
full-time
one.
at the bank.
I had given out just a few of my flyers. Yeah. Just a few certain people. Yeah, I hadn't done any type of marketing, nothing. So, like I said, I prayed real hard that morning. I asked for a sign. I get to work that day, and it's about 11-ish or so, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I had my coffee out, my cell phone over here to the side on my desk while I was working, and my cell phone started buzzing. Yeah. And my dad had health issues off and on, and so I always kept my phone out because I just we just didn't know.
Aware of anybody else.
In fact, he passed away 4 months after that. So like that goes to show you like my phone was like within reaching distance. Mm-hmm. So my phone rang, and it was a lady. Her name was Sandra, and she's like, "Hey, I got your one of your flyers from Carmen. She's a massage therapist that I know and that I went to." And she's like, I was wondering if I can set up a consultation on Monday. Yeah. My mom needs some help going to the grocery store, the hairdresser, massage therapist, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So literally, like, I felt like that was my sign. Yeah. The very first day I wasn't going to the bank to work. Right. I was starting my business and I went to my consultation with them at 11 that day, and by the end of the day they hired me. So my very first day with my business, I got my first client, and I knew that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I've never looked back. Yeah.
And what was it about banking that you wanted to get out of it? Like, was it more of the pull to the business, or was it like, okay, this working here in this field is a drag now, and not as fulfilling?
Banking's really changed over the last, and I'm sure it's changed in the last 4 years I've been gone, but it had changed so much.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're in
especially since 9/11. Especially since 9/11. I don't know. I just felt like I had something, something that was pulling me. Yeah. And it was the business, but it's not that I didn't like the bank or I didn't like banking. Yeah. It was just so different. Okay. It had just become so different than from when I first started. Oh. I loved the bank that I worked at. I loved the people I worked with. Yes. I just knew it was not.
You didn't want to retire from it?
No. I just knew that it was time. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you gave up the security net of everything?
I did. Yeah, I took that huge leap of faith that everybody talks about, and it was the best thing I ever did. Yeah, because so many of my clients benefit from our services. Yeah.
Now, did you, like, with your business now, I know you say you want to help as many people as possible. Do you ever see yourself retiring from it, or how do you see yourself, like,
I don't
progressing?
know. That's, like, such a big question.
Because you went from banking to, like, okay, you're working this amount of years.
I mean, I definitely, like, will will do this forever. There's no doubt about it.
Real?
Like, I will do this forever. I love it so much. It's completely my passion.
Yeah.
It's what I'm really, like, born to do. I really believe that. Do I think that I'll work with clients every day from here until the time I retire?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how big we get.
As far as you personally working with clients.
Me personally, like,
okay.
My team members, yes.
Yes.
But at some point, I'm so involved in my clients' life, the everyday stuff that at some point I do have to break away just a little bit, just to kind of work more on the business than in the business.
Right, yes.
I will never not work in the business.
Right.
I will always have my hands and feet in there, just being a part of my client's life. It doesn't mean I have to be there for every visit, but I will always be a part of the business.
Yeah. Yeah. Have there any been, since you've been growing this business the past 4 years, have there been any hard times you've had to work through or trials or anything?
We've had, growing pains, reliable team members.
Yeah.
I have a select few that are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there has been a few clients that we've had to part ways with.
Yeah.
I don't
clients or
clients.
Employees? Wow.
Clients.
Yeah.
Clients. Just because of the way that they talk to my team members.
Oh, yes.
When we help our clients out and when we go to a consultation, we talk about a certain amount of respect that's given and received, and
so you got
being the owner, you have to really protect your clients, but you also have to protect your team, because if you don't have a good team behind you, you're not gonna go far. I mean, if you're a one-man person, one-man show.
I mean, I feel like in business, like, that used to be almost commendable in a sense at some point. Maybe the trend, like, oh, he's self-made, he's did it himself, he's like self-starter, but it's just like, why would you want to do it alone? I'm thinking to myself, like, no way, I wouldn't want to, even my own business, I don't, why would you, it seems like a lot of work, a lot of extra stress, and your attention is just pulled in many different directions, and it doesn't have to be if you can put a good team around you.
Right. And I've heard it before, like, maybe I am really good at something, but maybe I need help in another area of my business, and I'll bring someone on to help me with that.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm really good with doing the cooking, the cleaning, the running errands, where maybe one of my team members, they're better with someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia. Maybe they just have, like, they just are better at that than me, and that's okay. They're allowed to be.
Right.
So you have to really just kind of step back and just bring on people that are good at what you need and what best fits the client.
Yeah. That's how you put team members in the right place, for sure. I know a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs have to deal with that a lot, as far as getting the right team around them to represent their business. So because it's like you kind of have client retention thing, and then you have your team, like employee retention situations going on. You got to be able to manage that, especially with your team, because clients come and go, but you don't really want your team, I guess, to transition and turn over at the same rate of your clientele.
Right.
So cool. We're going to end this conversation for now, because we got a lot to cover with our businesses. So
yes, we do.
And bring on, but we'll be talking again, and we're going to continue. We got a lot to talk about with our businesses. So
absolutely. Thank you.